You know, I gotta tell you, I've said it before and I'll say it again. One of the best parts about having a YouTube channel is that people send you stuff. And guess what, folks? It happened again today. We are looking at the 120 to 300 millimeter f2.8 DGOS Sport lens from Sigma. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. All right, first things first, I want to give a huge shout out to Sigma for hooking it up. They reached out directly after another Sigma lens review I did here on the channel a few weeks back, and they sent me this really cool 120 to 300, as well as a few other cool lenses and goodies, which I am going to be able to check out and review upcoming here on the channel within the next few weeks. So big thanks to Sigma for the support of the channel. Really super appreciate it. All right, the high level overview of this 120 to 300 millimeter lens from Sigma. This is a high-end sports, wildlife, or even portrait lens coming in at about half the price of its competitors. This is an f2.8 lens all the way through from 120 to 300, and it comes in at about $3,600. Now that's about half of what you're going to pay if you are looking for a similar equivalent from Canon or Nikon. The 300 millimeter lens is kind of a bread and butter sports lens that all of us sports or wildlife photographers could use no matter what situation or circumstance we find ourselves shooting in. But if you're looking for that 300 prime at 2.8 all the way through from Canon or Nikon, you're gonna look at about $6,000 or $7,000. This offers you great versatility in its focal range from 120 to 300, 2.8 all the way through, so great in low light, and really a nice option coming in at a more inexpensive price point than those other competitors. So before we try it out, let's just take a look at the hardware of the lens itself. So right out of the box, it comes with this really nice over-the-shoulder carrying case. Great if you're on the go, always like I am, coming from place to place with the lens. And overall, this is just a really well-built, durable, sturdy lens. It can definitely take a beating if you're out there shooting in the elements, weather, dirt, dust, all that kind of stuff. It can definitely hold up to that challenge. It's kind of a tall or long lens, maybe about double the length of a Canon or Nikon 70 to 200 for reference. But again, that's probably to be expected with the focal length range being so great and having that versatility of 120 out to 300. You've got a really nice lens hood here to protect the front element, and also this nice tripod or monopod collar ring, which rotates all the way around, a nice added feature. On the side here, you've got all of your standard switches, including switching between autofocus and manual focus, your focus distance selector, either from 10 millimeters to infinity, full range, or 0 to 10 meters. And if you really want to get tricky with it, Sigma makes this neat little USB dock where you can pretty much plug your lens into the computer and fully manually fine-tune the focusing on the lens with these custom modes that you see here on the side. Kind of a cool feature and not something that I've seen on other lenses. And finally, you've got two different options for image stabilization, either multi-directional, basically stabilizing your shot any which way you point the lens, or a more targeted mode, only stabilizing on the left to the right on the Y axis. So really nice out of the box. I like the feel overall, but the big question on my mind, can this lens hang with the big boys as far as performance when it comes to image quality, sharpness, autofocus tracking, all that type of good stuff? As you guys know, on this channel, I like to show you in action. I don't just like to sit here and talk about it, and you guys are in luck. Tonight, the Red Sox have a game at Fenway Park, so we're gonna head over there right now and put this bad boy to the test. Let's fire up the old Subaru. Welcome to Fenway Park. We're just getting ready for batting practice, so our guys are about to start hitting. Got the 120 to 300 right here. I am using this with a Nikon D6 body, so I have the Nikon mount version of the lens. They also do make a Canon mount, so pretty versatile. No matter what system you have, it should work with what you got. First impression, just holding the lens, as far as the ergonomics and feel of the lens, it feels good in the hands. It's a good size. One thing is it is very, very heavy. It feels honestly almost as heavy as the old version of the Nikon 400 2.8 that we have. I guess that's kind of to be expected with, you know, the range of 120 to 300, but definitely is heavy to handhold. Probably be better off with a monopod or tripod.
Bro, take one of these.
Oh, this?
Right here.
All right, hold on. Does feel like the focal length ring is kind of stiff. So when you're adjusting from 120 in and out to 300, it does feel like you have to put a little bit of oomph behind it to really crank it to get from where you want to be to where you're going. The focus ring itself is nice and smooth, really easy. So if you were to use manual focus for anything, super easy, but it does feel like you have to kind of muscle that focal length a little bit. Now, don't let all that fool you because this lens is nice. I mean, first impressions, super fast on autofocus and super sharp. It's locking right onto my subjects and staying on them as they're moving. Now, granted, they aren't moving that fast right now because it's batting practice, so I am gonna try it out at full speed during the game once it starts, but right now, image is looking really, really sharp. Another nice thing about this lens is although it is the varied focal length, the actual size of the lens doesn't increase or decrease as you zoom in and out. So I think it's really nice that you don't have that push-pull effect when you're adjusting your zoom. It just stays one size the whole time. That's good when you're in close, tight quarters. That's a wrap from batting practice. You're seeing some of the photos we took with the lens. Honestly, love it so far. Really nice to just have that flexibility to make those kind of wider angle pictures, but then also zoom in and make those really nice, tight, impactful pictures with a really tight crop, all done with one lens rather than having to carry two bodies, one on each shoulder. I like having that flexibility. Images look sharp. Everything's in focus. Haven't really missed anything, so love it, but we'll try it out in real-time game speed once this game starts in a little bit. All right, game time. You know, I just got to take a minute and say it's super nice that we have fans back here in the stadium. We are at limited capacity, 12% fans right now, but compared to last year, this place is just so much more lively, so much more energy here, and it's really nice to have a little bit of atmosphere going on while you're shooting the game. So what I'm really curious about is to see if this lens can kind of hang when it's real-time game action, when things are actually happening really fast. So that's what we're gonna find out. So far, so good, man. I'm impressed. I've been shooting, you know, basic sequences, pitchers, batters, infielders throwing, fielding ground balls, and it locks on right away. I gotta say, it's just as fast as, you know, my Nikon 400, Nikon 300, any of the primes that I'm used to using. It's just as fast. Baseball probably isn't the ideal sport to shoot with just because right now I've got range with the 300 just about to the edge of the infield. I can't really get anything good of the outfield, but if you were to use this lens for basketball or tennis or hockey, I think it's the perfect lens. You know, you can cover the entire action on both sides of the field, both sides of the court, with just one lens, one body, and I think that's where this lens would really shine. Right behind the Red Sox on deck circle. So in addition to shooting the action, I can also pan over here and you're right next to the players and you can get kind of these cool features of the guys warming up. With this lens, I feel like you can kind of do it all. I can shoot the action, them batting, but I can also kind of zoom in right on these guys and get these cool little features. Oh yeah, it can do it. This lens can do it, no problem. When stuff's happening, it'll get it. No big deal. Next day here, post game, okay, final verdict on the 120 to 300. If you are in the market for a high performance sports, wildlife, or portrait lens, but you don't want to go all the way to the top of the price scale, this 120 to 300 from Sigma is something you definitely want to check out. It is a fast, sharp lens with great capability to track on and autofocus on fast moving subjects. It's a fast lens, performs great in low light at 2.8 all the way through, and offers you a ton of versatility with the focal range of 120 to 300. There's a ton that you can do from a composition standpoint with this lens. It is a little bulky overall, it's very heavy, and the focal length ring is just a little bit stiff. You really gotta muscle it. But those are all things that you'd come to expect with the more inexpensive price point, and given all that it offers as far as versatility standpoint, those are things that personally I feel like I can overlook. So definitely recommend checking out the lens. I loved it. Thank you again to Sigma for hooking it up. If you guys have any questions at all about the lens, please feel free to drop it down in a comment below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you like the video, and please do subscribe to the channel. As always, I appreciate your support, and we'll see you at the next one.